Rock 1053, San Diego, the hottest rock station. Oh wait, that's my other YouTube channel. Hello and welcome to another the most amazing color grading tutorial by me. As you know, I only produce high quality stuff that you're not gonna find anywhere on the YouTube, or as a matter of fact, anywhere on the internet. This is gonna be another high-end color grading tutorial with lots of cool stuff, lots of cool features. So let's jump right into it. Now, before we're gonna continue, I want to say special thank you to Pascal Payan for providing me this awesome footage that you guys gonna see, and make sure to check out his feature film On the Horizon. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description below so you guys can go ahead, rent it, and check it out. We're working with the actual footage from the movie, so that's always really exciting. All right, so let's jump on the project really quick, and before we start, I want to change the resolution a little bit so you guys can see more of the screen. Okay, just like this. And basically we have really cool shot over here of, I believe, Lotus parked by some mansion, they coming out of it. I mean, it's very cool establishing shot. So as usual, we're working with a red footage, all raw, and we're gonna go from there. So let's jump into it. The first step I'm gonna do, we have right now the log footage. Now I have two choices I can do. I can either manually adjust over here in the clip settings and sort of basically turn everything in Rec 709, or as I recently been using a lot, basically to work with ACES color space, which is becoming a new standard for color grading. So I want to do ACES because it's more high-end, more advanced, and basically soon it's going to be default standard, so why not? Let's just jump right at it. So how do you do it? Over here, very simple, color management, Davinci YRGB, see you later, alligator. Okay, ACES input, let's see, dragon red log, blah da 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 da, dragon red log film, output Rec 709 because that's gonna be our destination. Alright, and what's cool about ACES, by the way, you can change your input and output at all times, and basically, if you guys not sure what ACES really is, leave the comments below and I'm gonna make a dedicated video answering all the questions regarding the ACES color space. Okay, so we turn our project right away into Rec 709. So just from there, everything already looks fantastic, so we can just go ahead and deliver it like that. But as usual, we're gonna do a few tweaks, that way it's a little bit step above of the regular production. All right, so I have a waveform over here, and then let me check the parade really quick. Okay, always kind of flipping between. Waveform is not the same as parade, always keep that in mind. So okay, here's our shot. Okay, looks pretty cool. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna balance the exposure. Okay, right click, I'm gonna do exposure. I misspell it, but it doesn't matter, it's not English spelling channel. So all right, now we're gonna go to the color wheels, and with ACES the color wheels behave really awesome. I really love it. Now we can do either individually with RGB controls, or we can do offset. Now before we're gonna do it, let's check it out, the overall curve, what we see over here in the waveform. We kind of can see that our midtones sort of dominate a little bit towards the highlight area, which I don't like. I kind of want to drop them a little bit. So let's see first what offset gonna do, and then we're gonna see from there. Okay, offset works pretty good, but I'm sure midtones will work better. Okay, just like this. Let's check it out really quick, before and after. Okay, we already see a lot of improvement, so let's leave it like that. Next step, color balance. Okay, WB, white balance, and here you can decide what you want to do with your white balance. Whether the genre of the movie, you know, really affecting how you light up for outside scenes. Now for this one, I kind of want to do a little bit warmer, a little bit happier. So let's go from there. Okay, temperature. Okay, let's start increasing, and for that, let's go into our parade. And basically, parade is a very good indicator where we at in terms of the white balance. Also, here's a little trick. Let me reset everything. If we're gonna go in the vector scope, okay, let me see so you guys can see it more. The vector scope over here, we have this basically amount of information right over here in the middle, skewed a little bit into cyan and a little bit of blue. A very simple trick how you can white balance your shot is if you're gonna go into offset, and basically you can just keep moving it until the mass of the color information in the middle, and that's how you know that your white balance is spot on. That's a very cool trick. A lot of people don't know that. Even advanced colors sometimes not using it. So let's check it out really quick, before and after. Look, with a simple adjustment, how quickly we made the shot look more professional, much warmer, and now we sort of have some kind of a feeling and emotion going on. But that's not it. As usual, if you guys haven't seen my previous tutorials, I do not rehearse anything that I'm doing. I'm basically just sitting down and going completely from scratch, doing whatever I gotta do. So I haven't graded the shot. I have no idea what I'm gonna do next, and I think it's making tutorial a little bit more exciting, because if you constantly, you know, prepare for what you're gonna do, I think it's a little bit cheating. I really like to sort of emulate the situation as you would be sitting with the client on the spot, and basically you have to come up with the look to either impress the client or deliver dailies for, you know, editor or whatnot. And I think that puts you a little bit more on the spot, and I kind of feel like this helps a lot more learning rather than have just, you know, reading the script and basically doing things that I've already done. But that's just my way of doing it. Again, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about it. So let's continue. Enough chatter. Okay, so white balance. Next one. Okay, I'm gonna convert it to parallel, and I'm gonna make exactly dedicated video probably in a couple weeks about difference between nodes. I've been asked that question a lot of times. What's the difference between layer, parallel, serial? And I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna show you the examples, and hopefully that video will completely explain how and why you choose to use whatever. All right, so this one, very top, I'm gonna put contrast. Okay, with the contrast, let's go right over here. Let's kind of add a little bit extra pop. Again, let's look at the waveform. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see how it was before. Okay, so contrast, adding a little bit extra pop. Next one, I want to call it look. Let's start dialing our look. And if you guys haven't seen my live stream, I'm explaining a little bit difference between log and the curves. And the cool thing, if you don't know how to use log, what you can do in the curves, and it's actually, again, a lot of people don't know this trick. If you have a little qualifier over here selected and you're in the curves, okay, whatever you're gonna point, let's see the stairs over here. If you're gonna click, it's gonna create a point in your curves. Therefore, this is the value of the stairs right now. So if I want to change the color of it, this basically the point right here on the curves is what I need to be tweaking. So it's a little bit below midtones, and I want to protect a little bit my highlights. Okay, I'm gonna put a point here, and I'm gonna protect a little bit my sort of bottom shadows. So if I'm gonna go in each channel individually, basically I can adjust the color of that stairs, and we can see I can do a manual adjustment just like this. Okay, I think like that looks cool. And green, Let's see, maybe a little bit, kind of like that. All right, again, let's toggle before and after, before and after. And what's cool, because I protected our shadows and highlights, as we can see, let me show you really quick, the stuff didn't change really that much in the car. We still have black, relatively black, and we still have highlight relatively white, even though of course there's a little tint, but we didn't affect it that much as we would in a normal primary grading. So I'm gonna call this look 1. Okay, we're gonna finesse it a little bit. Again, another parallel node, I'm gonna call this one look 2. And with the look 2, let's play with the log. Okay, so let's see, shadows. Let me do shadows maybe a little bit. Very important, I don't want to make it like a cheesy music video, so kind of have to restrain myself a little bit. All right, so let's do a little bit purple, and with the low range and with the high range we can see where I'm affecting and how much I'm affecting basically the shadow area. Okay, and I'm not gonna touch the midtones. I really don't like working with the midtones in the log, but the highlights, we can push highlight opposite to create sort of split look. However, you don't have to, that depending on what you want to do. So if our shadow goes up, we're gonna pull the highlights completely opposite way. Okay, just like this. And then high range, again, let's drop it a little bit, and you can see how we created sort of split looking image. Now let's toggle between really quick, before and after. Okay, so I think that looks really cool. However, it have that Instagram feel, and I really don't want to look like Instagram. So what can we do? Well, since we're working in the basically parallel system, I can do another node, and in this node, okay, I'm gonna call it fix. And by the way, if let's say for some reason you feel like you did a lot of grading more than you should, don't worry about it, because if you're gonna go into key, you can always dial it down the amount of adjustments you made. So don't be afraid to push it too much, because you can always dial it down, and it's a really cool thing. Now in this fix, what we're gonna be fixing, well, very important, I want black color to be black. And it's very important because if you guys seen Hollywood movies, like again Transformers, stuff like that with the teal and orange, one of the very secret that they use, that even though those movies always teal and orange, white always remains white and black always remains black. This is very important. We can do two things. We can either desaturate black, we can add contrast to black, or we can use again log to fix black and basically just make sure it's, you know, the black remains black. So let's see. Let me go in the log again, and as we've been pushing into purple, this time I'm gonna push it a little bit into green. Okay, as we can see, it completely eliminates our previous effect. And what can we do? We can turn on the highlights, the selection, we can go to luminance, and we can select the very black part of the image, just like this. Okay, very cool. Now let me do a little bit of soft, actually, in the highs. Okay, soft selection. Soft selection in many cases eliminates crazy noise that you get when selecting, so it's a very good practice to have a nice soft feather edge in your color grading. So again, let's see how much we're affecting really. Kind of, let's play it back really quick. Okay, a little noise but not too crazy, so let's do clean black, clean white a little bit. Okay, that looks great. A little bit blur. All right, I think we can live with that. Now again, if we turn off the highlights, now let me toggle that node before and after. Now check it out, check out his and her jacket. before and after. As we can see, we brought back the original color of the jacket. If we're going to toggle the whole thing before and after, we can see that more or less it remains black rather than purple. Again, we can push the adjustment even more in the log. Okay, something like this. Okay, and with a little higher range. Okay, and now we pretty much completely fix the crazy colors that we did. However, everything else in the shot remained color graded and basically the same. Now this is very cool. So let's continue working on the shot. So again, let me go in the full screen really quick. This is our shot. Okay, let me loop it. Okay, here's the little boom in the shot again. Before and after. Before and after. So we start getting into really interesting look of this whole situation. Now, my next step is going to be vignette. Even though, to be honest, I'm not a fan of vignetting. I think a lot of times vignetting looks cheesy. However, in certain situations, like for example like this one, I think it's going to help us. Let me show you how. Okay, I'm going to do a little the gradient selection over here, and basically in the primaries I'm just going to drop it just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, just like that, and we can see now, hopefully the YouTube compression allows you, that we kind of start getting a nice sort of sunset going on. Okay, look at the windows. Very cool. We sort of start getting a little bit more focused on our characters. Let's create another vignette. I'm gonna call this V2. And by the way, we can do exactly the same into the parallel. I just want to step aside from it so you guys can see a little bit bigger image instead of cramping everything in one little space. All right, and here I'm gonna use classic vignette. Okay, classic cheesy, kind of like that little flying saucer, little UFO over here. Okay, I'm gonna invert it, and let's bring it down a little bit of everything if we want, and we can focus on the main entrance. And let me feather it a little bit. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, look, before and after, before and after. We start focusing, we start leading eyes more towards the car and the characters basically walking up the main door. Now that's not it, we can do even more stuff. Well, what can we do? Let's see. Is a car looks good. We can do more accent on the overall image. Okay, how we're gonna do it? Very simple. Let's do contrast number 2. Okay, contrast number 2. What we're gonna do? Again, let's do masking. Okay, let's start from here. Very simple, like that, like this, kind of like that, like that, like that, and basically like this. Relatively very sloppy. Let me see. We don't technically even need to track this because it's kind of holding on pretty well. However, again, if you're doing a real movie, you should track it because you don't want to be, you know, sloppy with this kind of stuff. Okay, and here what we can do, just give a little extra pop in a contrast, and with the pivot you can adjust the middle point. Let me go back to the waveform. Basically, pivot is like an anchor point of the contrast adjustment. So don't go too crazy, don't go too low. Again, depends on what you do. Let's see really quick. Let's make selection soft. It's all about soft. Okay, let's check it out. Before and after. Before and after. Okay, now let me play back the whole thing from the very beginning. So this is our shot. Okay, this is how it was, and this is what we've done to this. And then put cherry on the cake, a little bit icing, you know, let's say a bonus material. Let's do very last film grain. Okay, and I'm gonna show you a really cool trick. I bet a lot of you don't know this trick. It's a very high-end trick. Now we're gonna use standard resolve grain. Let's see. By the way, I'm sorry about my voice. I've been sick not a while ago, so still a little residual. All right, so film grain. Let me call this grain. All right, and I'm a big fan of Super 16. So let's do, they don't have Super 16 here, but let's do 16mm 250. Okay, we can see really quick before and after. I mean, we can see how destructive that grain is. However, I'm a big fan of it. All right, so where's the trick, you may say? What's going on here, right? Well, we're gonna make footage to look like 16mm, like actual 16mm film. And one of the interesting signature of 16mm film, that you get noise not in the blacks but in the highlights. That's something very interesting and unique. But I apply it over here grain, it basically applied to the whole image. So what can we do? Very simple. We can go to the qualifier right over here. Again, let's select the highlight. And let's start basically dragging everything. Kind of like this. Let's do a nice soft selection because we don't want to have any kind of crazy angles or anything like that. Nothing shaky. Okay, I think like that looks great. We probably can push even more. Let's do clean black. More feather. Okay, something like this. All right, now if I zoom in, for example, would be a good right here. See the tire and see the car? We see the noise in the car, but no noise in the tire. So that's really cool, sort of secret technique I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, and I think as for this look, I think we're pretty much done, and I think it looks fantastic. I never sharpen my videos. I don't recommend sharpening anything because it kind of looks ridiculous once you actually watch it on the high quality screen. So be sure to subscribe, guys. Make sure to share the video, click the like button, leave the comment below, and I'm gonna see you in the next videos. Take care.